Kids are in bed?
Kids are in bed.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 35 of the Kids Are in Bed. That used to be my football number, if you'll recall.
I do recall. It's on a photo, and I just
featured
put it out today.
In many of my usernames and passwords for a time. Mm-hmm. I'm Tim Severson. This is Jenni Severson.
Hello.
How you doing, Jenni?
I'm so great. Thanks. How are you?
I'm good. If you're our neighbors, it feels like you live next door to the Today Show. Our our blinds are up, and we are right in front of the window. No?
I get it. Took me a minute.
It's like the Today Show if it was shot in the suburbs and nobody watched.
Yeah, nobody can come to the window. I was thinking about, I raised the blinds to the large window in our living room, and the entire family commented on it.
Yeah.
Every single one of you. Wow. Those haven't been open in a while.
Well, it used to be that you didn't want them open.
No, I like them closed because I don't like to look at the house.
Right.
In the backyard.
Yeah.
But I wanted some extra light in. Really, I wanted the cleaners to clean them. That's why I raised them.
Yes. Do you believe they did so?
They did, yeah.
They look pretty good.
Yeah.
Look pretty good.
I was like, if they're not open, I don't know if they'll clean them or not.
Sure. Well, that's good that they cleaned them. Mm-hmm. That strategy worked.
Yes.
Good for you.
I think if they're closed, though, then they clean the blinds. So you have to probably every other type situation.
Man, that's like taking out the recycling every other week. Get confused.
So.
Blinds are spotless. Windows are filthy. We watched Tenet.
What was my life like before I watched Tenet? I can't even recall. It was a different time. I was a different person.
Yeah.
Yes, because we talked about it two episodes ago.
I think so.
That I didn't watch movies that year when I was birthing babies. It's amazing. I'm a huge fan. I think it's not as popular as some of Nolan's other films, of course, but I heard some people thought it was too complicated.
Yeah.
I disagree. You know it was too complicated. Beetlejuice. You know it was not too complicated. Tenet.
Yeah.
Just my opinion.
That's fair.
I love movies that you can't stop thinking about for days. Today is probably the first day in a week that I haven't thought about Tenet.
Well, not anymore.
Yeah, well.
It's good stuff. It was good for me on another watch. And it is a rewatchable movie for sure.
You almost have to.
Yeah. It's but it is complicated. So I can understand why people would maybe get a little annoyed at that.
It's not that complicated, in my opinion.
Well, it just it plays with your brain. And I think that could, for certain people, be just tough. Just from a standard, just like how they process information.
Interesting.
Because that's what I said to you. Like
Very linear.
Yeah.
People probably don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because it's like, hold on, it becomes annoying because you're trying to track something rather than just take it all in.
You got to just stop.
Yeah.
That's why I love movies like that. I love sitting back and just watching and not trying to track. Just be like, I'm just going to let this happen to me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good movie. I'm glad we watched it again. And
Robert Pattinson nailed it.
He did.
Listen, I obviously have loved Robert for quite some time.
Yeah.
But I feel like other people really didn't give him a lot of credit. But you admitted he was good in that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. You said it was because he wasn't so sparkly.
No, that's not what I said. That was
you did too say that.
Those words were said, but not in that context. Not in that context.
Okay.
That is taken out of context, madam. I object. No, it's Yeah, he was great in that. And there are other things that I've liked him in for sure.
The final scene that he's in
And
was actually my favorite scene of the movie.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily think that I didn't like him. I just didn't like Twilight in general.
Boo!
The whole thing. The whole concept from the first page of the book to the last scene of the last movie.
You should be embarrassed.
Yeah, okay. I am embarrassed. Not for me. But I don't think I ever had a problem with him. I don't think he should have been Batman. That seems like...
I haven't seen that.
Yeah. He didn't really fit the bill for me in that.
I could see that. I'll have
don't
to
know.
watch it. Add it to the list.
Okay. Yeah.
Tenet. Check it out.
Check it out or don't.
Just straight check it out.
Check it. Straight
Just check it out. Just check it out.
Chickadee, check it out.
The Chinese chicken.
You have a drumstick in your brains.
Watching X-Files with no lights on.
Oh.
I hope there's more gamers on this one.
You're getting all the easy parts.
Like Harrison Ford, I'm getting frantic.
Like Stingham Tantric.
Like Snickers guaranteed to satisfied.
Like Kurosawa, I make mad films.
Okay, I don't make films.
But if I did, they'd have a samurai. So cool. All right, should we jump into our topic of the week or our year of the week? We are in 2021. So 2021, we are counting through the years. We are coming down the last little stretch here of the 25 years that we've been together since 1999. We've been reminiscing through each year and deciding which is the best and which is our favorite. And so far, 2019 is our winner. Peace and love and go for football. We'll see if 2021 can upset it.
All right.
It's not that far in the distance, so I'll be interested to see what your memory's all about.
All right,
let's get to it. First, let's warm up and remind ourselves what was happening a few years ago, in case we forgot. This was when Britney Spears was the Free Britney movement was happening to get her out of her conservatorship.
Is it a documentary?
There was
started that?
I don't know if it started it or if it was like after it started, but I didn't pay close enough attention.
Me neither.
Everybody wanted her free. I don't know anything about that. I think everybody should be free.
Yeah.
So yeah, that sounds...
You don't really need to know the details.
It is like, yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, so free her. And now she's free. And I don't know. Seems like it's good. She still performs, so...
Hey, Britney.
Good.
It's good. Good for
All's
her.
well that ends well. Speaking of not ending well, Kim and Kanye got divorced in 2021.
Were they married? Oh, yeah. Forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Northwest.
Bennifer 2.0.
R.I.P.
Damn it.
How quickly. How quickly.
Maybe it'll be a 3.
I don't think so.
No?
There's a lot of footage of them looking miserable.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about other footage from
Ew.
the freak-offs.
Oh, I don't think so.
Oh. I think that's where they met.
They met, I'm pretty sure, on the set of... Was it G? It started with a G. Geely?
Yeah, Geely.
Geely, I think it was
Yeah.
called. Isn't that where they met?
Oof. I heard that was a terrible movie. Never watched it myself.
I think I tried to watch part of it and didn't even finish it.
That checks.
Mm-hmm.
This was Olivia Rodrigo's breakout year, driver's license. She got
It's a
it
banger.
yesterday.
It's a banger.
It is pretty good. I like her a lot.
I do too.
She's weird,
Yeah.
but I like her.
Kind of a fun weird. She was the one who had that really interesting SNL performance. Yeah.
Yes.
I dug it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. This is when Taylor Swift re-released Taylor's version. So, do you know like that whole story?
So, Clementine is a kindergartner.
Uh-huh.
She had her very first book fair.
Uh-huh.
And she loves Taylor Swift.
Yep.
But she has like her magazines, right? And like listens to her music. But it's called My Story.
Mm-hmm.
Did you read it?
I've read portions of it to her.
So
yes.
I mean, it's a kid's book.
But it's a biography.
Yeah, it's her biography, but for children.
Yeah.
And I learned so much. It was a great read.
Yeah.
Clementine fell asleep, and I kept reading because I wanted to finish it. So I basically know her whole story now, thanks to the Scholastic Book Fair last week.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting story. And I guess it really had a big impact. I mean, she's impacted ticket sales and copyright law because what she did was a copyright loophole to just alter.
She changed them.
Yeah.
Right? They were all like slightly altered.
Yeah, but yeah. I don't even think she had to change them. She just had to re-record them.
I think it said in the Scholastic book that they had slight changes.
Maybe, yeah, it was that too. And then also just the change of putting Taylor's version on it too is like part of the loophole. Mm-hmm. 'Cause yeah, that dude bought her catalog for like $300 million from Big Machine Records and was a jerk about it. But now she makes some of those albums, like her first albums, like Fearless, she makes like $3 million a month in streaming, which is just so crazy.
Well, what happened to the guy? The guy who bought the catalog?
Uh-huh.
What was his?
I don't remember
ending of his story?
I don't remember.
Nobody cares. Turns out.
I mean, I'm sure because he still owns it, right? He still owns those ones. But that was the whole thing, right? Like when she released the Taylor's versions, they broke streaming records because all of her fans went and just put their finger on the scale.
So basically he can still make money off of non-fans who don't know better.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And just people who don't pay attention.
Thought I had a drink.
To when they're just.
I swear. I guess not. But where is it?
You definitely did have a drink.
Where did it go? Maybe if I just put my hand out, the glass will appear.
Yeah. Hooray!
There she is.
You found her.
I saw some guy who was trying to like make a fan theory about how they couldn't eat when they're inverted because they would have to be eating like already chewed food. And the first comment was like, so just say you didn't get it. People are funny.
Yeah.
They make me laugh. Anyways, Taylor, T Swift.
It does bring up the point, though, that, like, you probably want to be fairly certain that you've gone to the bathroom before you get into, like, a situation that you think you're going to need to.
Yeah. Well, that's why the thing that's important is that you're not inverted for long.
Yeah.
So you're inverted. That's why the scene at the end's so confusing, because you're inverted to move in time, but then you're going forward again.
Yeah.
So you only have to watch your pants for the 5-minute mark or whatever.
Watch your pants.
That one did confuse. I will admit that confused me a little bit.
Yeah.
When they were inverted to travel in time, but then inverted again to be moving forward again. Because I was like, why doesn't he have to have the face mask on now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
Anyway, sorry. T Swift.
Yeah.
Taylor's version.
I think she's
making the monies.
She makes so much money on streaming.
Yeah.
It's
Get it?
crazy town. But just the whole concept of having her fan base just go, okay.
They're mobilized.
And it's just like, here you go. Here's all of the money.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Good for her. This was the year of the Friends reunion.
Nice. You know, it is so strange, though, when this happens to me with How I Met Your Mother all the time. You watch people over and over and over and over again, and they don't age, that you forget, like, it's jarring to see them.
Yeah.
Like, I saw Neil Patrick Harris in something, and I was like, oh my God, that's not what he looks like. Because when I see him every day,
yeah,
he looks different.
Right.
But, yeah, I really loved the Friends reunion. But, man, most of them looked very strange.
We shouldn't really talk about people's looks.
Well, I think it's okay to talk about people's looks when they've done it to themselves on purpose.
Yeah, that's true. It is so strange how doing that kind of work to yourself just becomes, I mean, it's very clearly, once you start, you just like kind of can't stop.
Yeah.
So it must
no
just be
going
like,
back.
you just think like, well, if I just do this one more thing, then it'll all start to come together a little bit more.
Yeah.
But it never does.
Never does.
It's
Just
never happened.
Really no good.
Father Time is undefeated. So let's just all just age. It's okay.
It is. It's great. How are you feeling about aging over there? Turning 40 next week.
You know, it is very little to do with my appearance. I think my anti-aging idea. I'm not really concerned with how my face is going to look.
Your face looks amazing.
Well, right now.
Yeah.
But it doesn't stress me out to think that it's going to start to look different. That part doesn't get after me.
Oh, good.
I don't think there's no way I could ever be convinced to do any sort of plastic surgery.
Mm-hmm. I think same. Pretty sure.
It's in the same category of tattoo for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess maybe nah.
I do think it's maybe rare that both of us don't have tattoos. I think a lot of people have a tattoo.
Oh yeah, I think yeah. Especially like now, the percentage of people who have tattoos, it's so funny how people are like, oh, you can just put whatever you want on there. Like, like the idea that it can be small or it can be a name or whatever on the wrist or ankle or what have you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could never. There's nothing that I want permanently on me that I could commit to that I'd be like, oh yeah.
That's it. I know for certain.
Jenni.
Not on your forehead. Maybe somewhere else. Your thumb.
Thumb?
I was just trying to think of something inconspicuous, but that seemed weird, didn't it? Like you want to like put me under your thumb or something? Yeah, I wish I would. I don't know. Was there like metaphor or some shit there? I don't know. I wish I wouldn't have said it. I don't know. Wrist. Wrist. I change it to wrist.
Let's move on.
Okay. One thing I did want to say about Friends reunion.
Oh.
I did not like the David Schwimmer and Jennifer Aniston little like we crushed on each other. It was so weird.
Yeah.
They were like, I don't know, 60? How old are they? It was
around there.
It was just a very strange little dynamic that I wished would go away.
It did start to feel a bit like a Cialis commercial.
It was it was weird.
Yeah. That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't watch this, and I don't think you ever will, but this was when Squidgame
No.
came out.
Because do you know why?
Why?
You were watching it without me.
Yeah.
And I came downstairs.
Yeah.
The one and only time and stopped and looked at the TV and I was like, what are you watching? And it was when they were all shooting. They were just shooting at him.
Was it it was the red light, green light game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that shooting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, there was like a big mechanical doll. But yeah,
Yeah.
if you got caught, you got shot.
I was like, what the hell are you watching? I had no context. I knew nothing. And that is the scene I walked in on. And I'm like, yeah, this show is not for me.
Yeah, it's
No thanks.
It's heavy. It's a lot, but it's well done. It's a good story, but it's rough.
No thanks. Unsubscribe.
All right, let's move on to movies.
Okay.
Play our movie games. See how you do. This is box office. So I'm going to tell you the top 5 in
Okay.
no particular order, and you try to tell me which one won.
Okay.
We have Spider-Man No Way Home, Black Widow, Venom, Let There Be Carnage, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and 9, The Fast Saga.
I've never even heard of half of these. That was more than 5 also.
It was?
I'm pretty sure. Did you say 6?
No, it's just a lot of long titles.
Spider-Man. Final answer.
That is correct.
Obviously. That was easy.
Yeah, what
I
do
haven't
you...
even heard of 2 of those movies.
Well, let's see. But let's get to the Academy Awards. Can you tell me what won? Because I'm realizing right now that I didn't look it up. So I'll read the nominees. And we have Nightmare Alley, Don't Look Up, Dune Part 1, Drive My Car, Belfast, Licorice Pizza, The Power of the Dog, West Side Story, King Richard, Coda.
So Coda was the winner. Sorry.
Yeah, Coda.
But what I was thinking about something else. Don't Look Up. I really, really couldn't find it in there. It was in there. I knew it was in there, but I just couldn't find it. I was distracted when you said Don't Look Up. So I didn't realize that was even nominated. I was like, oh, no shit.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. But the winner was Coda.
I've seen 3 of these, and I want to see more. You saw West Side Story. I did not see that.
I love West Side Story. I had to watch that. It was an obligation.
Yeah.
I don't like Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
I started disliking him when streaming movies started to get recognition.
Yeah.
And he was very vocal on his opinion on that. And I was like, he's not staying with the times here. Like,
right.
You got to adjust. I thought that was very irritating. And once I kind of was like removed from like Steven Spielberg is the best, I started watching his movies differently. I don't know. And I was just like, these aren't that good. So there was like 2 or 3 that I watched after that. Oh, The Fabelmans. Mm-hmm. I did not think The Fabelmans was great. I thought Michelle Williams was great. And I thought there were great parts, but overall, I did not love The Fabelmans. And then the same with West Side Story. I do think you can work magic with a remake. We talked about this last week. I loved Greta Gerwig's Little Women. Thought it was fantastic. I just didn't think he really did much with it.
Do you recall watching The Power of the Dog?
Yes, absolutely.
That movie was a lot. No?
I do remember you being a little confused at the end. Like you needed a little assistance in what had happened.
Yeah, well, I missed the concept of the bad meat somehow. Somehow that missed me, and then I got all sorts of upside down.
Yeah, that was a lot.
But it's a very good movie. Really well acted by Benedict Cumberbatch.
Mm-hmm.
And
always.
Kirsten
Jesse.
Dunst.
Oh, I was going to say.
Kirsten Dunst was pretty good.
Yeah, she was good. But I love her husband.
Yeah. Jesse
I never know how to say his last name. Plemons or something?
Plemons. Yeah.
I thought he was amazing.
Yes. Yes. And so was the son. I don't know his name, but he was good too. Yeah, that's a really good movie. Don't Look Up. Were you surprised that it was nominated?
I was surprised.
Yeah.
I loved it up until the final scene.
Yes.
Remember how it ends?
Yes.
The final scene was when I was like, okay, you lost. If they would have not cut to that final scene,
yeah.
I think I would have been fine.
Yeah.
It was like an SNL skit.
Yeah.
You took it too far.
Just always a step,
you gotta just stop.
Always a step too far.
Yeah.
Always a step too far.
But other than that, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. It's very funny.
Mm-hmm.
And
different generation. I like to use that quote a lot.
Yeah.
He's from a different generation or a different time.
Yes.
I find myself saying that a lot.
So, given that you haven't seen anything but those.
Yeah.
And not the winner. But
I have to abstain.
Of those, it would be Power of the Dog.
Of those that I've seen, it would be Power of the Dog.
We'll check back in at another time. This was the year that Encanto came out.
You know, our priorities just shifted.
Yeah.
We don't talk about Bruno. Was a game changer.
Lin-Manuel Miranda, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, they didn't submit that. I don't think. I might be telling lies. I'm pretty sure they didn't submit that for the Academy Awards because they didn't know. Like, it was a sleeper. They didn't know it was going to be such a hit.
That wasn't what they thought was going to be the song that everybody gravitated towards.
Mm-hmm. They submitted two caterpillars. It's
Tugas or something. No?
Yes. Dos caterpillars. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
But I mean, we don't talk about Bruno. It took the parenting world by storm.
Yeah.
Every parent in America was happy.
Yes. So good. So good.
We did this thing. Have you ever done at the end of the year, you can pull up your most listened to music on whatever platform it is.
Yeah.
And we did it at work once for like the new year. It was like everyone was sharing what were their top 5. And my top 5 were all Lin-Manuel Miranda, all 5. It was a combination of Encanto and Hamilton.
Yep. Checks out. It's good stuff. Well, believe it or not, we actually had a lot going on in 2021.
Did we now?
Yeah. I do often forget that the beginning of 2021 was still like pandemic time.
Yeah. Well, because things kind of lessened over the summer when you could be outdoors and you could see your friends at a park.
Right.
But then once fall and winter came, it was back in it.
Yeah. I think I always get confused because that was Clementine's birthday's in January. Mm-hmm. And that was the year that you sent out Tiara and the little...
Yeah. Well, I just felt so bad that she didn't get to have a birthday party.
Yeah.
Because she didn't have a first birthday party, really. I hijacked her first birthday.
Yeah.
And so I was like, dang it. I hijacked her first birthday, and now her second birthday, she doesn't get to have a party. So I did this other thing instead. I sent out tiaras and wands to our friends and family for a princess party. We were going to have a princess party, but instead of coming to our house, we just take a picture with your tiara.
Yeah.
And so then she got all these photos back of all of her friends and family in tiaras.
That was such a great idea.
Yeah. It was a good idea. I have good ideas.
I think that was way better than, the whole put a bunch of signs in your yard and have people honk as they drive by stuff.
No.
That was a silly thing for people to do.
Yeah.
This is when we went to, so this was, I think, as it was easing out for Jude's birthday in March, we went to a water park in Brainerd. What?
This is the most ridiculous thing that came out of COVID, is that COVID doesn't exist inside water parks.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Because the hotel was still operating on pandemic protocols. Like there was no breakfast.
Right.
We can't serve breakfast because it's COVID.
It was like prepackaged muffins and
like from the gas station.
Like yogurt. Yeah, it was. It was like a picked over holiday gas station.
Yeah.
It was awful.
But then the second you walked into the water park, which is just a small little couple slides or whatever.
Yeah.
Coronavirus can't live in here.
No, not in this warm, humid environment of urine but maybe the chlorine does kill it all. Maybe there's enough chlorine in the air that you can't spread
I don't think so. I don't think that's how that works.
Well, either way, we rolled the dice and we went and did that. And we got a room. They had rooms with bunk beds built in.
Yeah, so fun.
Yeah.
Kids love bunk beds.
Yeah, it was very cool. And so, but of course, because of COVID rules, though, we got there and check-in was at 3. But because logic doesn't exist in the world, we couldn't go to the pool until 4. So we had to kill an hour in a hotel room with the kids. And they had a TV in the bunk room with an Xbox. And the controller was all messed up, so Jude couldn't play the game he wanted. So I'm like, well, we could just probably turn on Netflix. You can watch a show until we can go to the pool. And I pull up Netflix, and whoever had been there before was still signed into their Netflix, which usually happens when nobody signs out of their Netflix at hotels. It's so funny. And so I'm looking at the profiles, and I'm like, I know all of those names. And so I took a picture and sent it to a girl that I worked with. And I'm like, have you stayed at the hotel we were at? And she was like, yeah. And I'm like, I guess I'm in the room you stayed in. She was like, I was there 6 months ago. And I'm like, well, your Netflix has been used by a lot of people then. And she's like, will you please sign out of it? And I'm like, absolutely not. But that was wild.
Yeah.
Like
that's crazy.
What are the odds?
Right. It's not like
it's what are the odds like with the time? You know what I mean? Like it's not like it's a huge hotel. So like
also who goes to Brainerd to stay in a hotel?
Us.
Nobody.
Everybody.
You know what
I
I'm
guess.
saying? Like
maybe
it's
everybody
not
does
like
it.
a destination.
Maybe everybody does. Well, yeah, it is. Brainerd?
Not in a hotel.
Oh.
In the winter. Oh, I guess maybe people go snowmobiling or some shit.
Yeah. Ice fishing, snowmobiling, skiing, cross country skiing, snowshoeing.
All right. I stand corrected.
Ice sculpture making.
I stand corrected. That was funny.
That was.
Mm-hmm. But my favorite thing about that trip was Jude we stayed there on his actual birthday.
Yeah.
And when he went to bed, when we went in at 4:00, he was 364 days old.
Yeah.
And he didn't know how to swim yet. And then he woke up on his 5th birthday and knew how to swim.
Yeah. He just ran. I was so scared. He was just beelining it for the pool. I'm like, don't run. He just jumps in. And he just was swimming.
And he just
would
swim.
It just something overnight. It was just like,
I'm 5 now. I can swim.
Yeah.
I loved it.
It was like the Matrix.
So funny.
I know Kung Fu.
It's like, it's good stuff. That was super fun. I was remembering too, that night, you took Clementine to bed and I took Jude to the arcade. And so me and Jude were coming back, or no, I took Jude back to the pool and we closed down the water park. So I think it was like 9:00 and we were walking back in. And so we were coming to the door and I'm like, you have to be very quiet because Clementine's asleep. And so I'm like opening the, hotel doors are so loud. I'm like, and then we're like tiptoeing in and the bunk beds, remember there was a hole cut out in the bottom bunk. And as we're walking down, Clementine just stuck her head out and goes, hello. It was so like me and Jude like fell on top of each other laughing. It was so funny.
She's funny.
She is very funny.
I think that she doesn't always get credit for being funny because Jude's such a clown.
Yeah.
And her humor is a little different brand. But she's very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know where she gets it. She is a funny girl.
Am I supposed to say she gets it from you? Is that why you're pausing?
It took long enough.
It's like, why is sitting there so awkwardly? Oh, she gets it from you, darling.
No.
Yes, of course she does.
Oh, come on. This was the year that we decided to do the most stereotypical style family activity, and we bought tickets to go to a dinosaur drive-through experience next to the Mall of America.
That is the strangest and dumbest thing I've ever done in my entire life. I really wish I could go back in time and not make that decision.
Oh my God. They advertise it and make it look like you are going to Jurassic Park.
Well, for the kids it was. I think the advertisement is the kid experience.
Yeah, but the way that they show the pictures
was a disaster.
You show up and it's just a surface lot.
This is a parking lot. It's literally just a parking lot.
Random animatronic dinosaurs all over the place, and you get in line and you pull up and you check in, and then they immediately start the sale.
I don't know if I told you what happened, but what happened from my perspective is I heard, "Would you like a slushie?" Would you like a slushie? And I was like, oh, like, you know, because a lot of times when you take kids to a park, like a amusement
slushie
park,
with
they
like
have
a souvenir dinosaur cup.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, sure, we'll take some slushies. No, she said plushie.
Yeah.
And proceeded to bring over $45 stuffed animals. I was just like, what?
And just handed them to the kids.
She had like 3 options and was like, which ones do you like? It's like, I'm so sorry. I thought she said slushy. And then do you remember what we had to do afterwards?
Oh, yeah. We had to go to Dairy Queen and get slushies.
Dairy Queen and get slushies. Because the kids heard me saying, I thought she said slushies. So then they were like, we want slushies.
Yeah. And it was like when it was finishing, Clementine was like, do we get the slushies now then? Have we made it to the slushy part? But yeah, so then you just drive through and you could tune into there's a YouTube video that you'd play, and then it would proceed as you went through this wondrous experience of dinosaurs. The kids loved it, but the kids did love it. And I actually think why the kids loved it even more was because we let them stand up in the sunroof. Yes, they were standing up through the sunroof the whole time.
So that was cool.
That was fun.
And they liked that.
Yeah.
And also it got us such a cute video of Clementine.
Yes.
What was that?
That's a dinosaur. That's a dinosaur.
It is?
I love that video.
Yes,
it's one of my favorites.
It's a good one.
I would go through the stupid parking lot again just for the little joy on her face.
Yeah. Well,
God damn it. And that's what they know too. These assholes.
Yes.
Just take your $45.
She knows it for sure. She knows it for sure. Yeah. This was also the year that I went to the freezer and I grabbed a bag of frozen cheese curds and a bag of popcorn shrimp and air fried them all together. And sat down on the chair with a paper.
Oh, this is going a different direction than I thought. Sorry, I wasn't trying to laugh. Now I understand what you're doing. I thought you were just going to talk about some like amazing concoction you made.
Oh, I am going to do that too. This is all part of it.
Okay. Sorry, I'll stop.
And I sat down, and as it rested on my tummy, I thought, maybe this isn't the right way to live. And I picked up my phone and got an ad for an app called Noom and started using that because I wanted to. And after I signed up for Noom, I took that plate of food and I ate it, and it was amazing. So good. I think about it still. Those popcorn shrimp are so cheap. I don't even know what they're made out of, but they are. It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Are you eating it in the light and in the dark, or in the dark? Like, do you know what you're getting when you grab one, or do you just get a surprise? Is it cheese or shrimp?
If I'm being honest, Jenny, light or dark, I wasn't paying attention to what I was grabbing. It was just smashing it all into my face. A last meal of sorts.
Yeah. Wow, that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, so that was
2021?
Yeah, so that was April 2021. April 12th, 2021 was like my first day stepping on the scale and starting that whole deal. And
now here you are wearing women's medium sweatshirts.
Well, I don't know if that's... Well, yeah, maybe that's true. Rogers Girls Bowling. Found this at the Salvation Army. So I spent that. So that was the start. And then I actually was looking at this recently. In the first 45 days, I lost 31 pounds.
Wow. That's impressive. Congratulations.
I didn't remember it being that big of a clip. So, yeah. And so my goal was before my birthday, because as far as I could remember, the last time I weighed less than 200 pounds in my life was before high school. Because in high school, I actually started like working out and lifting weights. So I actually did have some muscle at one point in my life. So I was like, I think I remember I was like 210 at that point. But I would say junior high was the last time I was sub 200. So I wanted to get back to the weight I was when we started dating. And so I think I did that in some. I think by the time I got to my birthday, it was 70 pounds. So
proud of you.
Yeah. So I need to start that again. I've let myself go a little bit here.
No, you look fantastic. One thing that's interesting though is that your hair, you started growing out your hair in the pandemic in 2020. Yes. And then you started your weight loss journey in 2021.
Yes.
So we've never seen you with short hair at this
short
new
face,
size.
Short hair, skinny face has never been seen. It's always been short hair, fat face.
Well, no, that's not no. I'm just saying.
It's my face. I can call it what I want.
Transformation.
Yes.
From head to toe.
I did.
I love your long hair. Never in my life would I have thought, man, I wish Tim would grow his hair out, right? It's never even like a thought that occurred to me. But once you started, I was digging it. Ooh.
These old rags?
I had no idea your hair was so curly until you started growing it out. I mean, look at that. Look at those curls.
Yeah.
Just gorgeous.
Tell me about it.
Look at those curls.
Just
gorgeous. I just love them so much.
This was the year that Jude ran into a pole at daycare. And I got the call. And, one thing we didn't talk about at the time was when we used to get calls all the time before we switched daycares for fevers and infectious diarrhea and this stuff. And they would call and act as though our children were on their deathbed. And this daycare had that too with Clementine at one point, that they really freaked out about her temperature. And, well, we've been doing what we can to just keep her comfortable. I'm like, okay, it's like 103. Like Tylenol would be the best solution. And, but when Jude ran into the pole, they're like, hey, yeah, so Jude ran into a pole. He cut his eye. Looks like it's pretty bad. We're guessing you're going to want to get it seen, but maybe you can just take a look when you get here. I'm like, okay. So I pull up and I walk in, and Jude was just like in the bathroom by himself. And as I walked in, he was holding an ice pack over his eye. And I was like, all right, buddy, let me just take a look. And he pulls it off, and he had split like right in the middle of his eyebrow, like split right through the hair of his eyebrow. And it just, when he pulled it away, just a flap of that was hanging down. And so he was like half winking. And he goes, is it bad? I'm like, nah, maybe just put that back on. Maybe just put that back on there. And we'll just take that all the way. And so then I was just sweating bullets the whole drive to urgent care. Cause I'm like, this is going to be bad. Cause we had just had in the winter, the running into the wall incident, and he had gotten the lidocaine laid and had to suffer through those first couple of stitches. And so we get into urgent care, and I told the nurse, I'm like, he's going to be a little nervous, so I don't know what to expect. I'll do my best to help out. She's like, oh, okay, great. And so, I mean, it started immediately when they were like trying to clean it up. He didn't want to stay still for that, but I calmed him down. And then it was time for the shots. And he was like, I mean, absolutely not. And it got to the point where it was like a scene from Grey's Anatomy. Like, I was straddling Jude on the table, and one nurse was holding his arms down. And then the other nurse was holding his head, trying to hold his head still and then do the lidocaine. And then another nurse walked in, and I'm like dripping sweat down onto Jude's chest. And I turn, I'm like, get his feet.
Did she listen?
So we had him and then he couldn't do anything, but we had to hold him like that. And then numb him up. And then when it was time for stitches, the doctor was just like, all right, let's assume the positions. and we just did it all over again because this is like, it was taking forever. And so we just had to get it done. So yeah.
I remember feeling bad that I didn't get the phone call. I think they had called me first, but I had missed it because I was at work.
Yes.
And they called you second, and you were way closer anyways. I was in St. Paul. And so you would have gone anyways, but you were just like, I don't think it would have been.
No, I don't.
Good. You would have been.
You would have had to call me, or I don't know what would have happened. Yeah. Then I brought him to come see you. We went to Snuffy's and got burgers and shakes, and then we went and saw you at work. Yeah.
You had blood on your shirt.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You had never been to my office before. It was like.
Oh yeah.
I started there in the pandemic. Yeah. And so we just you had never met most of my coworkers. Right. And you came in and you were full of blood and a little disheveled. I was just like, this is my husband and my son. And Jude just had all over his eye. Honestly though, one of the thoughts I had after he was fine
Yeah.
was I'm so freaking glad he finally got hurt on somebody else's watch.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Because he got hurt so much. And I was like, I can finally say that he had to get stitches, but I left him in the care of someone else.
Well, and it had happened with your dad too. So we have a couple instances.
He just was rough.
Yeah.
Just rough. He doesn't have like spatial awareness of his body. Like he just is like he just like goes like a motor, but doesn't like always know what's around him. And I have that too. I like run into walls a lot. Like I run into walls like mostly every day, but I'm going at a slow speed. He just runs into shit at full speed.
So he's just you, but fast.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. I know how to deal with that. We'll be okay.
Don't you run into walls every day?
No.
Yeah. I mean, so there's that.
No, I would go so far to say I run into walls so infrequently that if I run into a wall, it kind of ruins my day. Because I'm like, oh, like that is embarrassing. I just ran into a stationary object.
A lot of times it's doorways. A lot of times it's a doorway that I run into one side of the doorway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that better?
I don't think so.
Oh, shoot.
I mean, maybe a little. And then right after that, we took our first family full-on road trip to New York.
Yes. That was a fun road trip.
An 18-hour trek. We split in two. We stopped in Elyria, Ohio for a night at a hotel that was, again, it was still COVID stuff. Mm-hmm. So there weren't a lot of people.
Well, but we also didn't plan it out. We wanted to just go, let's go until we can't go anymore.
Right.
And then find a hotel.
Yep.
So we didn't find the hotel until we were 45 minutes away.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't, like
it was
top of the list.
In retrospect, it was a little early for that trip to take place.
I'm glad we tried. Well, because I don't know if we've talked about this that much, to be honest. We, for 20 years almost, drove to the river every single summer.
Yeah.
And we would drive the 18 hours every single July.
Yeah.
And then once we had kids, we started flying. But it's not convenient.
No.
To fly to.
No.
And we just, I don't know, we always road tripped.
It's expensive to fly to. That's the problem.
There's only one flight every single day from the Minneapolis St. Paul airport.
And that's when we used to fly.
6 a.m. or some shit.
It was 6 a.m. coming back.
Oh, yeah.
And leaving, it was 11 p.m. or something like that. Or 10 p.m. We landed at like midnight.
I do not like to fly on those bogus times. I know a lot of people like to fly on those times because they're cheaper.
Yeah.
No. I will pay to fly at a reasonable time.
Yeah.
But you can't. It's the only direct flight every single day for years. Mm-hmm. Anyways, we started flying when Jude was born.
Yeah.
So we were excited at the idea of being able to drive again.
Yeah. I bought these seat back things that held iPads that had little trays.
Yeah,
I had it all
adorable.
decked out, and they used none of it. And remember, Clementine would just scream if she couldn't hold the iPad. And then she would always fast forward her movies to the end, and then it would end, and then
I don't remember her screaming a lot on that trip.
Oh yeah.
Huh. Don't remember that.
There were some frustrating moments in the car.
I remember it being just perfect.
Oh. Good.
Yeah.
Mostly on the way back, if I remember right. Remember we went through like a really big rainstorm on the way back?
No.
Oh.
I don't remember that at all. I remember we did something very strange. To this day, it might be like, it was a strange thing. We stopped in South Bend,
Indiana.
very cute little area. I really like South Bend. We've been there a couple times. It's a cute area.
We went to a pizza place that we'd already been to, and we didn't know it until we went to it again. We're like,
because it was like best rated pizza or something.
And we're like,
we've been here.
We've been here.
pretty good pizza.
It's actually a pretty fun thing to do when
Yeah.
you're so far from home. You're like, I've been here before. Like,
Yeah.
I know this place.
Yeah.
Anyways, continue.
It was a great little park. It
Yeah.
was cute. Staying in South Bend was fun and smart and wise. It was what we did the next day that was absolutely outrageous.
Oh, yeah.
We woke up in South Bend, drove to the Wisconsin Dells,
Yep.
which was what?
I think it's probably 4.5 hours, I want to say, from South Bend.
Went to the water park.
Yes. It was like 4 hours exactly because the plan was to get up at 7 or
I
get
think
up at
6. Oh, was there a time change?
Time change.
Yes, the time
At
change.
8. We had to leave by 8 because that was 7. So if we left by 8 and it's 4 hours, we'd be there at 11, which is when the water park opened. That was the plan.
Yeah. So then we went to the water park. The water park was
Hold on.
open.
Hold on. I think you're forgetting something.
What?
On the way to the water park.
Yeah.
Okay, so we drove from South Bend, so you have to go through Chicago. And we got through Chicago, and we stopped at one of the rest stops that bridges across.
Yeah, I did forget about this.
And of course, the food options were not convenient for what we wanted. I can't remember. Or what the kids would eat, and so we just decided we were going to get a pretzel, an Auntie Anne's pretzel. And so I took the kids to go look over the highway as the cars went down where you bought the pretzel. And then they both just split. And so Jude's running in one direction, Clementine's running in the other, and then they're running around the kiosk. So I'm trying to run herd. And then Clementine got up on one of the things, and I told her to get down. And it was probably like a foot off the ground. And she went to step off and she missed and just smashed her face on the stone tiles and just started pouring blood out of her mouth and nose. She like split her lip and had a bloody nose, and then we're like getting napkins, and it was just a disaster.
Yeah, poor baby.
And then you remember as we drove from Chicago to the Wisconsin Dells, she started to fall asleep, and I said my inside thoughts out, and you go, "Oh, she fell asleep." I go, "Hope she doesn't have a concussion."
Why do you say the things you say?
You got so mad at me. But yeah, we went to Wisconsin Dells,
Yeah.
and it was
It was amazing. It was so fun. Being at the Wisconsin Dells was great. We had an awesome time.
Yeah.
And
Noah's Ark.
And we stayed, I think, the whole day. It was open from like 11 to 6 or something like that.
Yeah, we left when it
So-
was closing.
So we stayed the whole day.
Yep.
And then drove home another 4 hours.
Yeah.
It was like, and got home at like 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
That might be the most outrageous thing I've ever done.
Yeah. It was fun though.
It was
a fun day.
great.
It was a fun day.
But do you know what I accomplish in most days?
Yeah.
Like, how did we do that in one day? It's crazy.
Yeah, that was a good
Yeah.
day. That was fun.
We had so much fun. That's when I decided I wanted to do Christmas there.
Yeah.
Or for Christmas, take my family there. I was like, this is so much fun. Imagine being here with all of your cousins.
Yeah.
So then we did that.
Yeah.
The next year, I think.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, well.
One less thing to talk about.
Yeah. What'd you do today? Well, I woke up in Indiana, drove to Wisconsin, went to a water park for 8 hours.
I woke up in Indiana, stopped in Chicago for a second, went to the Wisconsin Dells, spent the day at the water park, and drove back home to Minnesota.
It was a long day.
It was.
But somehow it didn't feel like I wasn't really that tired.
You know why? Because we were coming home and we had more time left. We didn't have to go to work right away.
Yeah.
So we were very relaxed.
It was vacation.
Yeah, it was still a vacation day. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah. I'm glad we did that.
Yeah, that was super fun.
That was really fun.
Yeah. I went to Colorado that year, watched the Gophers play, got myself off on a little adventure, had some fun there. Mm-hmm. Boulder is very fun. I don't know if I've told you this story. We went out to a brewery. I think it was called Avery Brewery. And Boulder, and it was like, I don't know, like 15 minutes outside of Boulder. So we took an Uber out there, hung out for a while, and then we were going back into downtown Boulder, and we're in the Uber and we're driving towards the mountains, and there was a peak off of the mountains that looked very distinctly, from my perspective, like a penis. And so I just wanted to point out to my friends, I'm like, hey, look at that peak over there. What does it look like to you? It's like, I think it looks like a penis. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a penis. And so, but then all of a sudden, like, and then we just started like joking around, but never were naughty words said. The anatomical word was the only word being used, but we still our Uber driver was like a woman who was probably in her 50s, maybe 60s, and she did not care for the penis talk. So back here talking about penises, so inappropriate, and like just like so upset that when we got out, like I was like, "Have a good day." She wouldn't talk to me. Just like.
Well, I mean, it is a little outrageous.
I'm telling you, if you could see the peak that I'm talking about, you'd be like, "Yep, it does look like a flaccid penis. That is what it looked like." So I stand by it. I apologize that it offended her.
Okay.
But it's just a body part, folks. Half of us have them. And then to cap it off, the Gophers beat Wisconsin, and we rushed the field as a family.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I have your attention, please?
That was fun.
That was super fun.
Mm-hmm. It's that blanket right there.
Yeah, we made a blanket out of it.
Right there on the couch. Yeah.
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 It was very cool. Well, I took Jude down first, to be clear, because Clementine was little. You weren't jumping over the railing with her.
Yeah, we didn't rush the field.
You came down the stairs.
We entered the field calmly.
Me and Jude went over the railing, though. I jumped and then went down, and then Jude jumped to me. And then we ran out on the field and got out. Got semi-close to the axe, but we were pretty far behind because we had to come down from the upper level.
Yeah. Somebody stole our blanket.
Oh, yeah.
I left my blanket up in the bleachers because I was like, who's going to steal a Gopher blanket at the Gopher Stadium?
You know what? It was somebody from Wisconsin.
For sure it was.
100%.
Absolutely it was.
Guilty.
Yeah.
So.
It's a good thing we have 18 other Gopher blankets.
Yes, it's true.
So we're fine.
Yeah,
But I was pissed that night. I was like, seriously, who steals my Gopher blanket?
Yeah. Rascals. And that's 2021. Anything else do you think I missed that you want to talk about?
Maybe just that blanket on the field.
Yeah.
Do you remember why you bought that for me?
Oh, yeah.
Because Christmas that year,
I bought my mom a blanket of her with the kids, right? With both of them?
it was your mom with the kids and Goldie Gopher.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And you were so jealous.
You said, "Oh, hey, look what I got my mom." We're like, it came in the mail.
Yeah.
And you opened it up, and it was just your mom and the two kids and Goldie Gopher in an amazingly soft, cuddly blanket. And I actually shed a tear. Like, I was like... And you were like, do you remember you were so mad? You're like, no! You're like, all I do is try to buy you the perfect gift.
Yes.
And then I buy this not for you and you love it. So then you bought me one for Christmas too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I think the thing is that I wasn't confident when I bought it that it was going to be as nice as it was.
It is nice. Very soft.
And it actually, like, still looks brand new.
Yeah.
Which is saying something in this household. I mean.
Yeah. You're telling me.
So. 2021, Jenny. Does it have what it takes?
I really loved our road trip. I thought our road trip was fun. It's our only road trip we've ever been on.
I loved it. Don't get me wrong.
As
I
a
had
family.
a blast. We had so much fun.
Yeah.
We've got that great video of Clementine trying to wake up Jude to get up for the second leg, and Jude was just passed out.
Yeah.
She was so tiny. Yeah, that trip was awesome. That was so much fun. They were both, that was the first time Clementine could move around out there, like in a meaningful way. And so it was fun to take them around to different places. And she was still terrified of the water when we were there, but the river's cold. So
Is that the last time we went to the river? Have we not been there in 3 years? Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think we have.
Yeah.
We need to turn that around.
need to rectify that.
I think we've reached a point now where, as my kids are growing up, every year is my new favorite year because
as I was putting it together, I'm like, 2021 is a pretty good year.
It's my win. It's my pick. Yeah.
There we go. 2021.
Yeah.
Best year
That's
yet.
a dinosaur.
That's a dinosaur.
Oh man. All right. Should we go check on the kids?
Let's go check on the kids.
See you next week, everybody.